trying to shove this down our throats. We do not want it. Would you want it in your neighborhoods? Would you want it around your kids?
No. Charlie Johnson didn't.
Okay? Why? And that some of you councilmen and women just sat here. Okay? You guys ought to be utterly ashamed of yourselves. I know I am. Okay? I'm still new to all this. Okay? But so far what I'm learning, I don't like. All the dirty dealing, backhand, bull crap. Okay? Just like the other people had said. Come November, we voted you in, we can vote you out. Just remember, I have a very long, long memory. I am disgusted at this whole entire council. If you ask me, y'all should be gone. Because you don't care. One thing you do care about is this, the almighty dollar, and forget about everybody else. And that's flat out wrong. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Chris Gerwood, Detroit Region Air.
Oh, here we go.
118951 Road. Here in support of this project, the Detroit Region Aerotropolis is a four-community partnership here in the Downriver region. The communities include Van Buren Township, Huron Township, Taylor, and Romulus. I work as your Chief Business Development Officer, so to speak. When Fortune 500 companies reach out to the state of Michigan, they create a process where there's down-select communities to locate certain operations. For example, Ford Motor Company recently announced a $100 million investment in Romulus. That was part of their R&D facility for EV and battery manufacturing. We were Aerotropolis, in partnership with the state, found that site. It was an existing building. It was empty, similar to the size of this building you're considering today. And so, I applaud Ashley Capital for identifying a site in the city of Taylor, for building a speculative building, and then allowing Aerotropolis, the state of Michigan, to go after and recruit Fortune 500 companies to the city of Taylor to create those 300, 400, hopefully 500 pathway jobs here in the city. And I say pathway jobs because I think every job is a pathway job. We all started somewhere. I started working at 14, and I hope people will soon at this site find their pathway job and find gainful employment and begin working. The other reason I think this piece of property is so suitable for this development is giving the hub and spoke supply chain model that now we are readjusting to. When we order things, they tend to get delivered. In the future, they'll be delivered via autonomous vehicle. This site is located next to an interstate with good updates that will be made to that interstate that will service this site, which will mitigate traffic. Ashley Capital is a buy and hold entity, which means the tenants that do fulfill their space, they tend to be very strict with their lease agreements. And so what I mean by that is if the tenant was looking to occupy the space, Ashley Capital will make sure that the tenant is abiding by all the rules and regulations put forth by your zoning criteria. And Ashley Capital has properties in Van Buren Township and in the city of Romulus, and now I'm very happy that Ashley Capital is now in the city of Taylor. And so you have a developer who not only has the financial wherewithal, but the Fortune 500 company presence in their current portfolio to bring to the city of Taylor. Lastly, this site needs to be remediated, and what better way to remediate this site than bringing in a developer like Ashley Capital, who has a long history of brownfield remediation and building Class A industrial space suitable for Fortune 500 companies. Yep. So I look to you as the city council to create these 300 to 400 jobs, allow us to do our job and find those tenants that will create pathway jobs for your residents and residents in the region, And please, we're going to look at additional sites in the city of Taylor, but this site in particular, with construction on 94, and with the size of the site, and with its current location, is a perfect fit. So I encourage you to move forward with this, and I'm happy to answer any questions, given that I've been working with the city of Taylor for many years now.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yeah.
You had talked about 94. What is the change that's going to be there for this company? You had, unless I'm understanding you differently, what is the change going to be? Because I know there's only, you know, the way it is you can only go on west and not east or whatever. I mean, what is the change?
Yes, so currently MDOT is looking at a few upgrades to I-94, but also there's the opportunity for CAVNU. CAVNU is working with the state of Michigan to build an autonomous vehicle lane in I-94 that will connect Detroit and Harbor. And when you look at the future of fulfillment, we believe that, and Kroger is doing this in Romulus, that when you order your groceries, you'll pick a delivery time, and an autonomous vehicle will drive your groceries to your driveway, and you'll pick them up instead of going to the store. And so, if and so this becomes a fulfillment center, light assembly, light manufacturing, we believe that the autonomous vehicle lane currently being planned for I-94 will take advantage of this site.
So it's for that vehicle. It's not for the semis that are going to be able to get onto 94 easily.
Well, and for the semis as well. It could be an autonomous semi or an autonomous vehicle will drive through the autonomous vehicle lane on I-94. Driverless technology is being studied at the state. The I-94 corridor between Ann Arbor and Detroit will be the first to be used.
Councilman Johnson.
Yeah.
Councilman's asking a question. Through the chair, Councilman Johnson.
Councilman Pats. In our packet from both the Planning Commission and our presentation at City Council, MDOT's been studying, changing, and reconfiguring the E-course road and I-94 interchange to make it a full four-way interchange. So that is one of the large appeals here, that you could have full four-way movement of trucks. So they had a study that was out, and they had 4 preferred alternates, different designs of how the interchange would look. Right now, it's not configured in a great way for truck traffic. So that's been listed on their website as a preferred project for, I think, 2024. So
That's through MDOT.
Councilman Johnson.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, I appreciate it. Comment? Sir, you're next.
All right, Dan Pitts, 8003 Lincoln. This guy's speaking here, man. I'm not saying he is, but he sure sounds like he's making a lot of money on this deal. I don't know. This whole thing sounds fishy to me. You asked a brilliant question earlier, why this property, you got all this toxic material out there. It does, Stevie Wonder could see this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, man. You're going to spend millions cleaning up toxic waste. You know that crap, it ain't cheap. Would you guys want your kids growing up around this, knowing this toxic waste came up out of the ground? This makes me sad for Taylor. This is the stupidest crap I've ever heard of. How can you guys do this? There's so much corruption in Taylor. You're being investigated. You know that. That's all over Fox News.
No, I know. His face is getting red though.
So who else is not getting investigated that deserves to be? Why this land? You mentioned the beautiful spot he course to party. It's not residential.
No, we don't.
How do you do this to Taylor? You're doing to these residents. These people got their lives invested in their houses. This is just stupid. I don't even live near this place, and I'm here to show support against it. You're all for it. Let me ask you, would you want this built next to your house? Would you want your kids growing up next to a toxic dump that was dug up?
They're going to make that property safer than what
They're going to make it safer. Jeffrey Fryer's home laughing his butt off right now, waiting on this to happen. He's going to come after all of you guys on this.
Yay.
This is stupid. How do you not see it? I think you guys need to revote and propose waiting and investigating. These guys brought up some brilliant things today, these people. There's some great things said
Can you
here.
say for the record, where were you from?
Where am I from? I'm from Taylor.
You didn't say your name and address.
I said my name when I first spoke.
Yes, he
I'm not
did.
gonna repeat it.
Yes, he did.
I said it.
Pay attention.
Where's the other guy that was before me? Tried to use it. Oh, we've done this in Romulus. Yeah, Ford Motor Company. What kind of example is that? Ford Motor Company, they got a building that already existed. They didn't drop a 40-story or 4-story building in top of somebody's neighborhood. Ford didn't do that. They had existing property. A building that already existed. They didn't drop this on top of all the neighbors. Would you seriously want your kids growing up next to a place that contained toxic material?
I would rather have it look like what is going to be developed than say yes.
You would rather have it look like what's going to be developed. But answer the question, do you want your kids growing up next to toxic material?
The fact that you're not hearing what you want to hear doesn't mean I'm not answering your question, okay?
You guys need to
You disagree with
postpone
me,
this.
that's fine.
I don't know if you can like redo the vote or whatever, but come election time, I can tell you, all you guys that voted no, you're out jobs. You're out jobs.
Yep.